now you see Minerva again, and she is, projected right next to you, and she says, Duck Newton, what is about to happen is going to be pretty wild. I'm not going to lie to you, but it's not going to happen if that thing gets what it wants and destroys the Green Bank telescope. I need you to stop it, please.
All right, Minerva. All right, I'll just stop it.
Use your sword, Duck Newton, to stab and hurt it. We talked about this.
Yeah, all right. Man, I have missed your tutelage.
It's
Jesus
like
Christ.
core strategy number 1.
I take beacon in one hand and the broadsword in the other. I'm like, hey, stupid. It's me, Duck Newton. Local beefcake. And I'm gonna kill you with these. Believe it or not, as unlikely as it may seem. And I sort of idly spin them in my hands. I know I sound about as convincing as, I probably sound to you. But, I'm all out of options. I threw my cool jet back at you. My friend hit you with the truck. So here's my cool new thing, okay? I'm gonna stab you until you die with my 2 swords. And I kick its ass.
Yeah, we see you just running on the dish of this telescope towards the antenna at the center while it is still moving into position. So you're kind of sliding towards this thing with swords drawn, and roll to kick some ass.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
It's a 10.
That is a 10. You are sliding towards this thing with swords drawn, and as you get closer and closer to this antenna, and as the dish itself is moving, that headache that you've had since you've been kind of close to this thing has gotten worse. It is getting more and more painful, but it does not break your stride as you charge into this thing with 2 swords, and you deal, what is Beacon's harm?
2 harm. Innocuous message.
Okay. You deal 4 harm because you are holding 2 swords. That's the only way I can think that this would play out mathematically. What do you do? What does this attack look like when you finally collide with it?
It's messy. I just I feel like I swing the broadsword with all my strength. It just kind of chunks into it and just pisses me off more. And I swing with Beacon and coil Beacon out and then recoil and cut a chunk off. It's messy. I'm just hacking at it. There's no finesse or grace. I'm just trying to kill it with these 2 swords.
And it deals 2 harm, but you actually feel like maybe it didn't. You feel a bit more hale and hearty than you expected to. And the telescope stops moving, and both you and this creature, I think, lose your footing for a second. And now it is leaning up against the base of the antenna, and it is kind of shuddering. It looks like it is just glitching out. And then your headache, Duck, it gets so painful, and you see Minerva now, and she is right in front of you between you and the monster, and she says, Duck Newton, this is going to hurt a whole bunch. Are you ready?
Yeah.
You hear that song now, and it is like you are in a room where you're seeing it in concert. It is so loud. And then that pain in your head, it passes the point of human comprehension. And then suddenly you feel a sensation that no other living human has ever experienced. Your sight vanishes just instantly as this flash of pain just splits your mind in two. And you feel this feeling growing and buzzing now and moving. This pain is moving. It's stretching outward, out from your forehead. And then, just like that, it is gone. And your vision returns, and you see hovering just in front of you a small hole that is floating in the sky. And this four-armed being looks at it curiously, its head cocks to the side, and then it sort of takes a step backward into the antenna with clear alarm. And then it is thrown back as you are by this beam of piercing green light that bursts downwards through the clouds above into the antenna of the telescope. And this hole that just came out of you, it is crackling with this green energy and it's expanding. And through that hole, Duck, you see something. You see a vision of these ruins, of these like toppled pillars and collapsed walls and these like obliterated pieces of large, inscrutable machinery, all of which are completely dormant except for one. And in front of that device, you see a shadow approaching faster and faster, and then she leaps, and she's here. She's holding this massive two-handed sword with both hands, and she's careening through the air before sliding to a perfect halt on these two large wooden sandals. And then she looks back over her shoulder at you, her real, tangible shoulder, and she says, "Thanks for the lift, Duck Newton."
I had it.